got some business to take care of here at home against the Titans. Not the most, well, interesting jerseys here. There might be a little bit of a clash as Jamin Jolliffe starts things off. So it's the Titans running to the Woolooware Golf Course end in this first half. Cronulla has a wonderful head-to-head record over the Titans, 8 straight dating back to 2017. So the Gold Coast with Big Tino getting it on for 4, and here's Jaden Campbell. This is expansive in these early moments. Not quite in the Manly realm from last night, but not afraid to shift the ball here with this opening set. Dave Fafita signed on till 2026. Titans making that official this afternoon. Now Aaron Clark in the starting side. And some sturdy defence there with Hamlin Weller and Brayley, and also Cam McInnes making the tackle. On the last, it's Foran. And it is Sione Katoa to bring it back as we say hello to James Hooper on the sideline.
Evening, Dan and Flano. Evening, everybody. Perfect conditions for rugby league here. Currently 15 degrees at PointsBet Stadium, the old Shark Park, as we see Wade Graham, the milestone man, 251 games in the black, white and blue, take a hit up. Huge news if you missed it prior to kickoff. The Gold Coast Titans, Tino Fasua-Malaawi, has signed a 10-year deal. Dan, it is the richest deal in 115 years of rugby league.
It's incredible. Take him to the age of 33. Cronulla here. Nice opening set from them. And Campbell very happy to let that one bounce over the touchline. And Hines knew that was very, very close to being the perfect kick.
Yeah, Nico Hines, he loves going down short sides. He doesn't worry if it's only 10 metres. He's happy to go down that short side and kick down there. He identifies where the fullback is, and on that occasion it just dribbles over the sideline. The Sharks really aware of the Gold Coast Titans' ability to shift to the Titans' left-hand side. They were switched on that first set.
They score 3 times as many tries on the left side as they do the right. They've got the speedster Khan Pereira on the end of that back line out there. This is Phil Sami, a strong ball runner, the right winger. Tino crashing into Rudolph down low. McInnes and Brayley there as well. They've got the crowd interested. That pass out of dummy half. It's Jamin Jolliffe up to the 40. Now the high one here from Boyd. It was quite windy in Sydney today, but not really a factor. The breeze here. Connor Tracy, his second game at fullback, did an excellent job last week in Perth.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll test him tonight. As you said, beautiful conditions. Sione Katoa just skips out of a couple of tackles.
And, oh, look at this. 3 he's beaten, then gets around Clark and gets around Jamin Jolliffe. I'm not going to make a thing of this, Flano, but seriously, how do we have jerseys that look so close together? There's now here's McInnes going down the middle. Brayley weaving. Hamlin Weller up to the halfway line. And the Sharp play the ball. Boy, he's good at that when he's rolling. Tracy hunting in the middle. Nikita feeding it on. Brayley to the 30. Tracy again. Slipped off for Fasua-Malaawi, but the tackle made by Stimson. Last year for Cronulla. Hines decides to run. Trindle shapes the kick. Oh, it's a beautiful pass away from Talakai, and Ronaldo gets over. And the Sharks are off and running. The gamble to run it on the last pays off brilliantly.
It sure does, Dan, but there's some beautiful work in the lead up to this try from young Blake Brayley. He just controls the ruck so well. He identified 2 or 3 quick play the balls and one marker on a couple of occasions. And
geez, this is concerning.
Ronaldo.
He's just come back from a jaw injury, Ronaldo, and geez, they just tore through so easily, didn't they? Particularly off that Hamlin Weller run.
Yeah, it's just this Brayley in and around the ruck, and they got a couple of quick play the balls, another one there from Tracy, and then they shift out to the left-hand side and one really good awareness. Trindle shapes the kick, just goes play short, and that's some beautiful silky hands.
Looks like he got that down cleanly. Looked like there's some bounce there, but doesn't seem to be a problem. So Trindle, 4th game in this 5/8 role, 4th game in a row. He's Sifa Talakai, he's got hands like cushions. They're so soft. for a big man, he really does have exceptional ability in that department.
Yeah, he sure does, and he's got a good fend on him as well, and I bet you that's not soft. But yeah, really good start from the Sharks, in and around the ruck, getting some quick play the balls, and as you said, running on the last. Nicho Hynes down this left-hand side, some really nice touches.
So Hynes, you see that, that's excellent stats. 61% from the sideline. It's about 45 in the NRL, maybe closer to 50, but he's way above that. And that one is just hooking too much. But it's Cronulla on top early, 4 points to 0.
The Cronulla Sharks off to an absolute flyer at Shark Park, and it's that man on screen, Ronaldo Mulitalo. He absolutely loves playing here. That's 24 tries in 22 games here over the course of his career, dating back to when he debuted in 2019. And we will just keep an eye on Ronaldo because he's had a trainer with him ever since he scored the try. It appears to be an issue with his right knee and right ankle, but a hot start from Cronulla.
Well, I hope, Hoops, it hasn't happened there in the celebration. He maybe just the adrenaline was pumping. He didn't realise he'd hurt his knee, but he was celebrating fine, and then all of a sudden reached down there. So here we go again with Rudolph. He's come back from a toe injury over the last few weeks and looked back to close to his best last week. Hamlin-Welle. Oh, that's a barnstorming run. What a start from big Braden Hamlin-Welle. Short side here with Hynes taking a little tumble. Here that comes with Ramian near halfway. McInnes for Trindall. Early ball Graham. Now on to Talakai. A pile driving run. Shop and Boyd just hung on and took the ride. Now here's a kick which has McInnes trying to balk, but Jaden Campbell very steady.
Oh, very steady. He's not the biggest man, but he just committed himself there, got off the ground, only had eyes for the football, and a big take. I just like what I saw over on this left-hand side again. Wade Graham ball playing. He's got a real good ability to pass, and he's got Talakai on his outside, so a big test for the Titans.
Oh, there's a strong shot. As Jolliffe has dropped, that was Rudolph for Fita. Again, the Titans can't get to halfway. So Cronulla dominating in these very early stages. Although Ronaldo, it's knocked back. Oh, he's gone. He's gone here, but no mercy here from Stimson. And this might be the end of Ronaldo for the night.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Matt Moylan on the bench, whether they play him, whether he goes back to fullback and Connor Tracy goes to the centre or wing. It'll be really interesting. The trainer just give him a little bit of time to recover.
Ramian now carrying it up, and yeah, he might have made it worse there going back for the ball. Hynes linking up with Trindall. Talakai again looking really strong tonight. And Moylan ready to come in. This would be his 100th appearance for the Sharks. He sat on the bench for all 80 last week in Perth. But it looks like Ronaldo might have to succumb. And again, he ran up with the chase there, but is hobbling the whole way. Big night here on Fox League. Broncos, Parramatta coming up as the main game. Last game at the Gabba. Trying to make it 3 from 3 there as Foran gets back up. Parramatta, they need a scalp at some point to get their season back on track and perhaps to get back into the top 8. There's the pass out to Stimson. Shot with a little bit of room. Got inside Talakai. The cover there from Trindall was important. Campbell out of dummy half. Lovely footwork around Brayley, but Hamlin-Welle locks him up. Campbell outside the 20. This is as close as the Titans have been. The high ball attacking Mulitalo. That's a good confident catch for a man who is injured.
Yeah, really good set from the Titans. They wind their sleeves up and they get down to the 40-metre line, and a good kick. Obviously, they know Ronaldo's not the best at the moment as they shift out to the right. still with the trainer, Ronaldo.
Well, he's really trying to persevere here. It's been, what, 5-6 minutes, and he does not want to come off. Maybe he can walk that one off. Oh, plenty of space here for McInnes, and he almost slipped the pass as well. Here's the kick from Hines. And this is Jaden Campbell.
It's a really interesting tactic from the Sharks with Nico Hines. He loves going down that right edge, and it could be 10 metres. It doesn't give him much space for error, especially if he comes off the outside of his boot.
Sami there having a little bobble. Clark. Good head of steam there. Graham and Brayley holding on. Tino. Legs tackle there from McInnes. A high kick from Boyd. Again, aiming for Mulatalo. Again, he just does not look comfortable, but takes it.
Yeah, and a smart play from young Tanner Boyd. You know, it's been his first real big year in the NRL, and he's done a really good job identifying that Mulatalo is not his best. He seeks some tension again, but making sure every kick goes to him, puts him under pressure.
Here's a spread. Katoa. He's nicking around his outside, but takes the tackle. Thrashing about there, almost collecting for Fifita. Back to the middle here. With Jesse Ramian. On the next, we see Graham get his hands on it. Oh, Hines. He saw no one on his outside and decided wisely to hold on. So it's Trindle going to the air, bringing Campbell forward.
And it's actually Ronaldo's right ankle. He's got some strapping on it now. He's just got some treatment again. And as we see the trainer talking to the medical staff, I think that's going to give him some time to see if he can run it off. Just seems to be moving a little bit better as time goes on.
Does seem that way. Oh, here's Ramian rushing up on Kelly. Fifita working it down the edge. This one might have a little wobble on it. And it's Tracy under it. Solid catch. So if you've just tuned in, Ronaldo Mulatalo, the first try of the night. Cronulla in 6th position, with Tracy having a dart. Hines got something up his sleeve here, back inside Katoa. Foran and Clark combining, but another quick play of the ball. These are really hurting the Titans with Brayley running. Hines on the last. Now they tried this once and it worked. This time the cutout. Mulatalo back inside Talakai. Trindle slips the pass. Rudolph on the 20. Extravagant pass. Graham back for Brayley. Brayley steadies. Places the kick. And Khan Pereira cuts it off. And dragged down. That's Rudolph again leading the chase.
Yes, some really good football from both sides. The Sharks throwing the football around, choosing to run it on last again. A lot of passes in that sequence, but the Titans' defence was up to it, defended the whole width of the field and defended the kick.
It's Isaac Liu. He's had quite an impact the last couple of weeks for the Titans, getting ready to come in. As Fasul Matlawi, followed up by Jolliffe. A bit of room for men who came through the Cronulla system. So going set for set right now after Cronulla dominated the start. Katoa taken down by Kelly.
And that's the area that the Titans just need to tidy up. When Katoa and Jesse Ramian carry into the middle part of the field, just get him some quick play the balls, and then Brayley jumps on the back of it.
Mulatalo looks like he has shaken off that injury now. Trindle. Wayne Graham up to the 40. With McInnes for Hamlin. Well, there, he's really causing the problems, running over Foran this time. Hines, the stab. Campbell, no room, pinned.
Yeah, the Sharks play the ball speed. It's just too fast at the moment. The Titans are just hanging on defensively. They're doing a good job, but the play the ball is just too fast.
Well, this is a problem for the Titans. They're stuck. There's hands on knees as Fa'asu Ma'alawi muscles his way to the 20.
10 years of doing that.
And now that is an enormous opportunity for the Titans here just to get out of this area. Boy, they needed that.
Yeah, and that's where they lean to their captain. He just carries the ball, so he's a big man. We know that. We can see that. And he just fights so hard. Wade Graham trying to do his best with Trindle. Trindle looking at the referee. It's a dead giveaway that you're trying to buy time.
First penalty, and we haven't had a set restart either. 15.5 minutes before we get either. Oh, that was heavy. Graham first there to meet Jamin Jolliffe. As Boyd linking up with Foran. Foran to Fafita and racing in to make the all-important tackle cut top. Tino. McInnes, that's 15 tackles in 16 minutes. Clark for Boyd, for Campbell. Oh, Trindle, excellent around the ankles. Talakai up top. Beckett comes to the middle with Clark. Rudolph sturdy. The last play. The chip bomb. And, going up is Sami. Somehow keeps it in.
Forward pass, going back in field. Last tackle handover.
And we've got a handover for the forward pass. That's as close as the Titans have been.
Yeah, it's not a bad set end for the Titans. They contested the kick. It wasn't the best kick. Could probably do with a bit more height, but it was the ball was inside the 10 metres, so a tricky one. But now they'll squeeze up, make the Sharks work really hard to come off their try line.
Mulatalo getting away from Foran, away now to Tracy. On it goes Nikita. Delays the pass, now links up with Ramian and he's away. He's got the fullback in front of him. The pass inside to Connor Tracy and the Sharks go the length of the field. Connor Tracy scores. And Cronulla get their second and really are starting to click into gear.
Yeah, they're a very, very fast football team. And as I said, the Titans, they squeezed up defensively. They bounced across the line, got the pass to the edge, and then Jesse Ramian in space and Connor Tracy. He's new to this fullback position. He's played a lot of positions coming through the grades. As we watch the replay, skipping across the line, gets to the edge, some nice hands. Connor Tracy pushes back up through the middle part of the field, and the ball comes back to him. That's good play from the young fullback.
So he got his first start at fullback last week, and great stats, 16 runs, 160 metres. He's now played every backline position. But most of the work was done for him here.
We just see their back row, Britton Nakora. He's as fast as a centre and outside back. He's really, really fast. Obviously, Jesse Ramian, Connor Tracy, Sione Katoa. They've got speed right from their outside men, are very, very fast. And then they've got the power of Talakai over on this side. Signed
till next year too, Connor Tracy, so he'll be around for a little while here in the Shire. He missed his first one from the sideline. To the crowd on the hill. Cronulla 10, Gold Coast 0.
The Sharks cutting the Gold Coast Titans open from long range, and that man on screen, Ronaldo Mulatalo, is just had to have further work on that right leg. The Cronulla doctor has been attending to him on the sideline for the entire time Nicho Hines was lining up that conversion. and a great reward. He started that try. A great reward for Connor Tracy. He gets his opportunity in the NRL with no William Kennedy at the moment, out with a hamstring injury. Terrific result for the 27-year-old De La Salle Caringbah Jr.
Indeed. Always seems to be impressive when we get the rare side of him in first grade, Connor Tracy. So Cronulla now with a nice buffer as we approach the midway point of this first half. McInnes for Rudolph. Just his second run. Bulk of his work has been defensively, and he's put the ball down here. So a gift here for the Titans. 35 out is where the scrum will pack.
Yeah, they just look like cruising upfield. They play short. Toby Rudolph, and he's just lost the ball in contact. Gives the Titans some really good field position. Talk about Connor Tracy. He was a half coming through the grades when he was a young kid here at Cronulla. And then he had some 2 or 3, I think it may be 3 ACLs, and went to South Sydney, and then he's found his way back to the Sharks and probably played every backline position and a bit of hooker.
He's a Mr. Fix-It, that's for sure. So the Titans now, Jaden Campbell from the scrum, Hines around the boot. Kelly driving it to the 20. Aaron Clark, another hit up here as they set things up, the Titans, with 3 tackles left. Boyd and Fawn are on the left. This comes now 2 for him. On to Fafita, plenty of defenders out there, shrugs off one, then another. Been handled well so far tonight, Fafita, by this Sharks defence. And there's the first set restart of the night. Oh, Hamlin Weather takes on Tino. Ball comes free, but it's called knocked back. Clark. Ooh, gets close, Aaron Clark. And he's dragged back by Rudolph. Plenty of tackles again for the Titans. Campbell's quick hands. Swishes by Aaron Shop, cleaned up by Sami. Plenty of metres lost there. Jolliffe. Jolliffe hard to put away and gets an offload. Randall for Boyd, now for Tino. Tino, he rumbles downfield and scores. Tino Fa'asuma'alawi has scored a try. And the crowd has been silenced. It's a good way to start a new contract.
Yeah, what a try. The big fella, he's just on a new contract full of contact.
Oh.
What about that contact? He handles, he does drop it back, and it does come in contact with a Sharks player, but I did think it was going backwards. But this is the moment, the Jamin Jolliffe offload. He just pushes through a couple of tackles and gets a nice offload, and then they shift quickly to their leader, and he's just too big, fast and strong from that, and just gets the ball down. Just what the Titans needed. Just they got that penalty, they get down there, good 6 again, and then some nice offload, controlled offload, get it to the edge, and they get points.
That's a great sight. Big Tino thundering down towards the try line. Well, bit of life back into the Titans here. They get one back quickly after conceding that second try. So, obviously his contract's what we've been talking about, but he is returning tonight. He's been suspended for the last 3 weeks. So, boy, they needed him, given Mo Fotuaika also suspended. That's starting this week.
Yeah, and Jamin Jolliffe offload, front rower in the middle part of the field, then they get it out to their other front rower, and he shows his agility and speed to get to the try line. They haven't been bad, the Titans. They're just how good the Sharks and how fast the play the ball's been. Such a real contest.
And Tanner Boyd nails that one. So, nice and tight once again. Cronulla 10, Gold Coast 6.
And I'm sure the Gold Coast Titans coach would be trying to get a message down there, and definitely at half time, that they've just got to try and control the Sharks back 5. Their speed of their play the balls, when they go to the middle part of the field, they're getting one-on-one tackles and just getting quick play the balls. And then Brayley capitalises on that, and the big forwards, Rudolph and so on, just back it up. So they've struggled to handle that. Apart from that, they've done pretty well.
Scores a try about every 4 games, Tino. Tonight, the big one, Brisbane versus Parramatta. Broncos v Eels, 2nd versus 9th. That's from the Gabba, and we'll be there as soon as we're done here at PointsBet Stadium. We'll have some team news shortly as well. Both sides coming off victories. Suama'alawi getting away here, really causing problems now. Nikita came back a second time, almost gave 6 away.
Campbell was just on his outside.
Fafita, now he thunders downfield. Opening up again, the Sharks. And look at Tracy hanging on. And the big fellas from the Titans are clawing their team back into this. Here's Boyd with the kick. Awkward bounce. Mulatalo. Well, he does well to hang on to it here, but there's a line dropout coming. Well, this game has completely turned.
Yeah, what a set after points from the Titans. They just, Fafita going through, just pushing some people away. He's so big and strong and powerful, and he just gets the tackle there. He doesn't try and push the pass, and then it just comes over here to Tanner Boyd. I thought he, at the time when he kicked it, he could have gone into run shape, but he gets his side, another set, if they get this kick off.
Here is the long one. So happy to back their defence here. And it's Tino in for... Oh, that's a tackle from Brayley. He got that right. It's Tino and Fafita who are causing the Sharks the most hassle at the moment. And another set restart here coming the Titans' way. Fafita. Chopped down Manuele and Brayley. With Tino at first receiver. Now it's Clark. Straight into McInnes. Now it's Randall getting it on Tino again. He can't stay away from it. Now Fafita. All the Sharks knew where that was going. 2 tackles left. Foran's on the short side. Comes to the open where Boyd is. And now Campbell on the angle. And up to the task, Braden Trindle. With help from Talakai as well. Last tackle. Boyd kicking towards the upright. And Foran got a little check there. Hines deemed to have started through the field of play, and then he throws a pass. Well, this is crazy stuff.
Just come forward, you're in an offside position.
So a penalty here for the Titans, a brain explosion.
So it was all play on. Jesse's knocked the ball on and Nico's grabbed the ball in an offside position. Yeah, because he's right on the ground. The beat out of the way is what you're going to do. You're tapping, it's penalty. On the line, on the line.
So now the Titans start 10 away. It's Aaron Clark. Playing it on 1 for the boy. Here's Campbell. The quick hand shot on to Sami, and they're in again. The Titans. No, forward pass. A forward pass.
Going for a pass.
They've thrown that one away, the Titans.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which pass the Titans players are asking, which pass was forward. Watch this one from Campbell.
Yeah.
Ooh. Anyway.
He passed there before the line and taken beyond the line, and I know there's momentum. Flano with the player running. He wasn't going at great pace there, Shop.
Just keep responding.
And really, it was there for the taking. If the pass was on, Song, no stopping Phil Sami. That's an escape for Cronulla.
It sure is, and the Titans, they just chance their arm down this right-hand side, Campbell, to get on the outside of Trindle, but Trindle's done a really good job with leg speed. He's got him every time so far.
And now, the first penalty for the Cronulla Sharks. And we're 27.5 minutes in. Haven't had a penalty or a set restart. And that would have been quite relieving too for Nico Hines. That was some play there to throw the pass on his 10, but he's been in command in attack with Trindle delivering here for McInnes. Now it comes out for Trindle. This is Royce Hunt. Some of the big Cronulla players returning to this side these last few weeks. He's one of them. This is their first chance in the Titans 20, and they've already got 2 tries. Here comes right side. Jack Williams. Hines going deep. Tracy goes for it all, and getting him is Phil Sami.
That's a great tackle. He'd actually got around. I think he beat Aaron Schock for speed, and Sami had to come in and make that tackle. A really good defensive read. Needed to make it outside in. That's a try saver.
Oh, it's a great look from Ronaldo there too. Great facial expression. He knew that was close. Again, Cronulla looking pretty sharp in attack, but not crossing. Just hanging in there, the Titans. Cruz Leeming has entered the game. He's the number 14, the Englishman. He's heading back to Wigan after this season, back to the Super League. That's a very solid run there. Sam Verrills, unfortunately, his season coming to an end, opening the door for Leeming to return to this side. Tracy again looking sharp, getting past Kelly, then getting it on. Ramian. He's still going. Great start of the set.
Oh, fantastic work from Tracy, and then finds Jesse Ramian, who's in a mood over on that right edge. He doesn't want to get his jersey dirty. He doesn't want to go on the ground.
There's Hines going long for Graham. They back to defenders, and Talakai almost cuts through. Shop holds on. Royce Hunt. Up to the 20-metre line. Ankle injuries, what did him in recently. Now comes out Talakai. Mulatalo sets sail, gets there. Ronaldo Mulatalo has a double. And at times Cronulla just do it with ease. That's their 3rd.
Yeah, really smart play again, and that man Nico Hines just comes down, realises that they've got an opportunity. Goes down this left-hand edge off Trindle, just goes a beautiful pass there. Nico Hines is a bait, actually. And Ronaldo, he's not his best, but he's still good enough to find the ground, bump off the tackle that comes into the corner and gets the ball down. Yeah, it is Trindle. Nico Hines is a bait out the back of that play, and Aaron Schock goes for him. It goes across the face just to catch a pass into the corner, and as I said, there he is there out the back of shape. Aaron Schock goes for him. Talakai, nice hands, as you said earlier. Beautiful soft hands.
So another try assist for Sifa Talakai as we watch Mulatalo get it down. What a funny old and successful first half for Ronaldo. Scored the try, then got the injury, which looked rather serious. He hung around, and now you wouldn't know there was anything wrong with him.
Yeah, they have got Matt Moylan on the bench, but it's always tough if you get a winger that's injured. You know, the whole thing you have to put sometimes the centre out onto the wing and your back rower out into centres. It's really disruptive.
So that's 18 tries now for Mulatalo. He's only a couple off the top in the NRL top try scorer race. Hines missed from here earlier. This one he tries to keep low, but again, too much hook. So 3 tries to 1. Cronulla 14, Gold Coast 6.
Yeah, and the Gold Coast did really well defending their try line. They just needed to get that. Obviously, both of them have been last tackle plays, and both down this close left edge of the Sharks. Nico Hines set the first one up. That time Trindle went with his halfback down there, used him as the bait. Poor defensive decision.
Tino there, well, he's going to get a salute from Fletch on Sunday night. He keeps going there. He's well on his way to a century in the VB hard-earned, miles in front of the field. You've not probably heard it by now, but he's been signed for another 10 years, or 10 years from now. This is a strong run from Royce Hart.
You're not going to push him forward and gain an advantage. Tackle one, all the way back.
That's a great carry. I think first contact's on about the 12-metre mark, and he gets to the 22.
You know, I haven't been afraid to spread it in this part of the field. See if they have some adventure about them here. Nikita. Made 3 line breaks. Hines for the fast Tracy, and now Katoa wrapped up by another fast player, Khan Pereira. Good meters again. This is Williams. And that's 60 meters plus in the set after points. As Hines sends it high, and Ramian was almost uncontested. Kelly made the right call, waited for the rebound.
And when Cronulla are in this mood, they move fast across the field. If you're half a metre or a metre short defensively, they'll end up finding you out because of their speed on the edges.
So we'll be back to the Clive Churchill studio at half-time. Vonnie with Mick Ennis and Greg Alexander. Time to get you ready for the big one at 8 p.m. Broncos versus Parramatta, but also look back at this. Some pretty good completion rates. There's now, it's Chris Randall. Randall going now into the middle role, which he's filled often this year, with Cruz Leeming coming off the bench to be the dummy half. Tracy. Oh, he's been collected. Tino got him. I'm not sure the referee's going to listen to the crowd here and take further action, but it's a straightforward penalty, that one.
Yeah, Tino just gets it wrong. Tracy,
Off the shoulder first.
he went direct at him and he's worried about his speed and just gets his timing wrong and clipped him around the ears.
So Tracy getting straight back up, no problem for him. He's been electric in this first half. And 6 more given away. First one for the Sharks tonight that they've received. Nikita at pace. Cronulla looking to extend this lead with Hines on for Hart. Like a runaway train, Royce Hart almost to the 10. They're lighting up here, the Sharks. It comes to Hines on the left. They let him run, then the pass for Graham. Well read by Tanner Boyd. Hines. McInnes. Williams setting things up with 2 plays left. Brayley. McInnes crashes over. Cam McInnes scores. Well, he's a defensive machine, but he gets a try.
Yeah, and it was a fantastic set from the Sharks. They just marched upfield. They were too quick again in their play the ball. Wade Graham went close on this left-hand side from a lovely short ball. And then they jump into the back at the post. And then that man there, we see him score the try. Jack Williams, a really quick play the ball, leaves someone on the ground, and they just can't get their spacings right, the Titans. And Cam McInnes, every time he carries the football, it is 100 miles an hour. And a nice little pass from Brayley out of dummy half. Got him one-on-one, he scores the try.
So this would seem like a fairly routine game from him, wouldn't it? Well, he already has 25 tackles. So on his way to another half century. And doesn't get too many tries. 1 in every 8 or 9 games. So pretty much on that trajectory this year. 20-6, how different it could have been, Flano, had that last pass to Phil Sami not been called forward not all that long ago.
Exactly, you know, sliding doors, that moment down there, forward pass, they go only 6 points behind now, you know, going to be 20-6 going into half-time. The Sharks, they're just too fast at the moment. They just need to slow that play the ball speed down, control that ruck. It's easier said than done.
Cronulla 20, Gold Coast 6.
The Cronulla Sharks Ironman Cameron McInnes, the 29-year-old Botany Rams junior. He set a record 78 tackles in Cronulla's loss to Penrith in round 22. He backed it up again last week, another 44 tackles, a cracking win for the Black, White and Blue over South Sydney. And now here he is again this evening, scoring a crucial try to send the home side to a 20-6 lead, 3 minutes leading before halftime.
Thank you, Hoops. And you see there the wound above his left eye, Cam McInnes. He's a bleeder. That one just holding for now. Royce Hunt has been superb. He had 4 runs for 57 metres before that one. What an impact he's made. Now, it's McInnes. But you just know on any play they could spread it here and have a crack.
Dan, I was here a couple of weeks ago for Manly in the visitors coaching box, and the Sharks in this mood, they can pile points on. You've got to be careful. Oh,
that just opens up here for Brayley. Leeming there with Fafita, but the metres have not been a problem at all for Cronulla. Hines delays the pass, linking up with Nikita. Dragged down inside the 30. Hines putting it up, Tracy coming through. Great take by Campbell.
Yeah, that's the second time he's done that. Under enormous amount of pressure. Just didn't take his eyes off the ball. Climbs high and comes down with the ball for the Titans.
Sami driving it down. So nearly 200 more metres from Cronulla. There's an offload from Leeming. The cover there from Williams and Hines, giving Campbell nowhere to go. Isaac Liu, the early ball. Tanner Boyd, he bamboozled Graham momentarily. Hunt there to take the tackle, or make the tackle as the kick comes from Campbell. Trying to follow through on that one, but no problem for Tracy.
Yeah, poor set in there. They should have had a kick, a high kick, so they could contest it. Campbell just had different ideas, thought he could kick for himself. Just comes off the boot too hard. They haven't been too bad, the Titans. It's just how good the Sharks have been when they've had the football. They've been really controlled, haven't given them an inch.
This is Williams. I think they might have something up their sleeve here. Hines now for Trindle. Talakai! Hauled in by Sami. Shop over the top. This is the 5th play. Mulatalo wanting to go back to the short side. And this is it. Hines through the hands. Trindle, McInnes keeps it going. Hines. Oh, that is brilliant. Trindle gets it. Oh, Ronaldo. That was a bit difficult. Oh, what a shame there for the Sharks. That was sparkling footy. And not much Ronaldo could do with that one. Everything had to be perfect. And the final pass just a touch off. Boy, they're hot tonight, though.
Yeah, exactly. People push it through into holes. Just that last pass, he couldn't handle it. Wade Graham pushing in around. Would love to get a try on his 251st game.
Well, they've had their moments here, the Titans, particularly Big Tino Fa'asua Ma'alawi and Dave Fafita. But generally, they've been shell-shocked here. It's Cronulla returning to form and following up what they produced last week in Perth, but the job tonight only half done. Half-time, Cronulla 20, Gold Coast 6. 2 tries, Mulatalo, Tracy and McInnes with a try as well. 4th game in a row. So here we go, second half begins with Cronulla to bring it back here. Now it's Royce Hunt trying to pick up from where he left off after his outstanding contribution at the tail end of the first half. This is Ramian, another powerful run, already over 100 metres. Known to spread here, the Sharks. Now there's been a change here. Keanu Kinney looks like he is at the back here for the Gold Coast. So the trigger has been pulled here by Jim Lenihan.
Kieran Foran, the one I can't find at the moment. I think he's come off. I think Campbell's gone to left half and Kieran Foran, the one that's been replaced.
Well, okay, so big change there for the Titans. And it's Kinney allowing Khan Pereira to take that. He's a live wire, this young man. Had 12 minutes last week, a nice little burst. He's 19 years of age. He debuted in Magic Round. This is his 4th game.
Yeah, and it's not a bad change, actually, for the Titans. They need to score some points, obviously, and he's a dynamo at the back. And then, obviously, with Campbell in the halves, he's going to get his hands on the football more often, and we know what he can do when he does get his hands on the ball.
Suamalo, he had over 100 metres in the first half. Leeming for Fafita. Let's go down to James Hooper with what was said and what happened at half-time.
Big news out of the sheds, Dan, and that is that Kieran Foran has been ruled out of this game for the Gold Coast Titans. It is a rib issue. He will not be back. From a Gold Coast point of view, Jim Lenihan wants them to win the ruck. They've really got to tighten that up. The Cronulla are just coming through them with far too much consummate ease from Craig Fitzgibbon. Stay square in defence, keep tight at marker, and they've been throwing the ball around, so I think you'd like them to continue to chance their arm where possible.
All right, thank you, Hoop. So, okay, so that explains as Bryce Hunt drops the ball.
When it's come up, I thought it hit him. Strong, where do you want it?
Yeah, the ball just bounces up as Royce Hunt hits the ground. They're just asking, does he want to challenge it? It's too late. Time's gone. It's expired now.
Hold it. Second row is a lock spine.
Okay. Well, did it hit the ground and did it touch it tight? Anyway, you said it. They could have challenged and didn't. And as Hoops putting a cap on that, it's an injury, which has meant the reshuffle for and out. Campbell 5'8", Kinney fullback. Aaron Shop taking it inside Cronulla territory. Sami. Strong. Well, this could be the ideal start for the Titans here. Isaac Liu powering up. Almost getting to the 20. Leeming feeding it to Boyd. Out it comes to Kinney. Hands out to Stimson. 2 plays left. Tino with 3 defenders there in his road. Boyd's on the right, so that's where it goes. Gets it on for Kinney. Kinney, there he is, Keanu Kinney, as he reaches out, but he is just short, although Ashley Klein wants to just make sure.
I have no try, so I believe it's lost short of the line, but then the ball goes dead over the 20-metre line, so I've got a 20-metre restart.
The young fella seems pretty confident here. He comes off his right foot. He has got some serious speed, explodes into the space, and then just reaches out. Does he get it down?
Oh, no. No. Now,
that's an interesting one for me. Is that momentum?
Yeah, he plants it short. And does he have control the whole way? Well,
he doesn't.
Conventionally, that's a knock on.
The first angle that the ball is initially grounded short.
But you're allowed to ground the ball short, and momentum can take you over.
Keanu Kinney's hand then comes up off the ball prior to the goal line. The ball then goes dead. We have a decision.
So 20-metre tap, 7 tackles set, but it confirms it was a lot closer than it looked live.
Yeah, and it just shows what sort of player he is. I know the Gold Coast have had raps on him. And we've seen him a couple of times, but he just showed exactly then what he can do. Come off the right foot, exploded into space, and nearly got there.
Boy, that would have been something out of nothing. And now you see Foran iced up. Touchwood, he's had a decent run the last 2 or 3 years with injuries. Only missed a handful of games. But his night's certainly over. With Wade Graham taking on Boyd, getting through Tanner Boyd, but just taking a tumble. Hines. Nikita. Cronulla's first venture down this end in this second half with Hines cutting back to the middle. Inside Leeming. Inside Tino. He just couldn't link up with Tracy. 10 away, last tackle. Here's Tringle with a delight.
Yeah, what a night for young, well, he's not young anymore, but for Wade Graham, he gets a try. His 251st first-grade game for the Sharks. Obviously, they played away last week, but it was beautiful lead-up work. Quick play the ball. Obviously, they come out here. Nico Hines gets to play the ball, but Trindle double pumps, opens up the space. That's beautiful halfback play. 5'8". He just goes to the line, double pumps, plays short. Lovely.
3 of their 5 try assists have been delivered by Braden Trindle. And Wade Graham, he's been here since 2011. He is so loved in these parts. First try of the year as well. And, game 293 overall. Much loved figure in the game. There's Carrie Ann, there's the kids. William and Thomas. They're completely transfixed on the game. I hope Mummy got him an ice cream at some point.
They had a dinner for Wade during the week. He's with all his ex-teammates, and obviously a lot of the 2016 team was there. And they were asked if his 2 young boys are going to play football. As Nico gets up one through the post, he was asked if his 2 young boys are going to play football, and they're both playing golf. He said, a lot smarter, and we're going to play golf.
Brilliant moment for Wade Graham, and it was set up by that man Braden Trindle, who he had a breakout game in the halves last week in that cracking win over South Sydney, and he's now looking to show Craig Fitzgibbon he's the right man to complement Nico Hines as the Sharks push to make a run into September. And a nice touch from Nico in the lead up to that. Wade Graham gets the try and deserves his moment. What a champion player he has been for the black, white and blue. Dan, of course, part of that maiden premiership when they smashed the 50-year drought. Flano coached it, 2016.
Key member of the team, Wade Graham. Now, this could be really important for Cronulla these next 33 minutes, because they're in a good, tight battle for and against wise with the likes of South Sydney, Parramatta. Now, those teams are a win behind Cronulla. Melbourne could be a team they could be in a tiebreaker with. Very close, and you add the 20 tonight, and it's a lovely position they've put themselves in. Melbourne, of course, play Canberra on Sunday. There's McInnes. There's Hines. Look at Tracy waiting on the inside, and then he was collected high, although no, Ashley Klein gives it the all clear. There's Hines placing that kick down the sideline. And Kinney just has nowhere to go. Kinney certainly not shy getting his hands on it, Keanu Kinney. Phil Sami so good at this. Working it from the back. Campbell up in the line now. Getting it to Kelly. And will signal the last tackle. Ball kicked by Campbell. That's a pretty tricky one. And a fortunate result there with Trindle taking it.
Yeah, just come off the outside of his boot and just lands in between the 30 and 40 metre line, and the Sharks didn't really want to have a play at it. Talakai just let it bounce, and fortunately for the Sharks, it bounces into their hands.
Brayley for McInnes. Hines. Look at Nikita steaming through, but a great tackle around the legs by Campbell. Leeming, finishing it off. Hines. Running this time. Again, he was there waiting, but no one to give it to. Just a touch far away was Royce Hunt on the last, and that one goes through the legs, and Boyd beat him. Sami takes it. Graham having a crack at it. That's a pretty good result for the home team.
Oh, Wade Graham's eyes lit up. He thought he was going to be in for number 2. A nice little kick. Gets a bit of a ricochet. And as it there, Wade Graham just thought he might get a bit of a touch to it. The Titans defend it well.
This must be tough going now for a team out of the running, down on the scoreboard, having to try and dig deep and bounce of the ball going the Sharks' way again there. Sione Katoa working it back to the middle, bumping off Randall, and getting around Leeming, and finally put away. There's Hunt again. On the Talakai, almost there.
Great tackle.
Try saver from Shop, but Cronulla still knocking on the door. One thing they've lacked this year is a ruthless streak in situations like this. There's Tracy giving it to Graham. The timing of that tackle was perfect. Shop again. Good defensive set from him. Hines thought about kicking it back. Oh, Ramian had a shot at it. It was almost too good, that kick.
Hand over.
Yeah, good defensive set from the Titans. They get the handover, bring it out to the 10-metre line. They just need a turn of luck. Just run hard, get a penalty, get them out of their end, get out of this cycle that they're in at the moment. They're only getting to about the 40-metre line and having to kick from that field position.
By the way, news coming in from the Gabba, teams 1 to 17, so that is confirmation that we knew it was going to be confirmed, but now we can lock it in. Adam Reynolds will play tonight, so Brisbane there. Good news for them. Here's Leeming, a little squirt down the short side. For the pass to Boyd. Boyd's been halfback every game this year. Liu for Campbell. Campbell for Fafita. Fafita for Kelly. Kelly takes some taking there. Ramian makes the tackle. Put up here by Campbell from the 30. It brings Tracy forward. Oh, what an awesome sight. Dave Fafita just rips it out and scores. So the Titans get one back. And that, how do you defend that?
Yeah, well, it's very, very hard. They did really well coming off their try line. They get all the way down. As in the previous kick with Campbell, it just sprayed off the outside of his foot. This one, he gets it right. He gets his big back roll, one-on-one with Connor Tracy. He flies high. He bobbles it a little bit, but he's not going to stop David Fafita from that far out. And the Titans, a well-deserved try.
Well, this is now where, of course, we bring up Cronulla. Leads they've coughed up. Last week they led 26-0, got to 26-16. The Warriors, the famous one. Now that's only one try for the Gold Coast, but time is not an issue for them.
And you just spoke about it, that killer instinct. Have the Sharks got that killer instinct this year? They just need to go on with some of these games. But the Titans, good credit to them, fought their way off their try line. We're going to check it.
What are we looking at?
Review for a knock on by David Fafita.
Yes, he knocked it into Tracy. Well, this would be some escape.
I don't think he has. My first glance at it, I thought it was okay. It bobbles down his leg.
So, up we go.
David Fafita has the ball here, then falls out of his grip and comes into contact with Connor
Does it?
Tracy, which is a knock on. We have a decision.
Okay.
Is it not back anyway? Isn't he facing his own try line?
I'm looking forward to you doing press conferences again, Flano. I'm looking forward to those.
Do you have to do them?
You certainly do.
Oh, as I said, I thought that was a fair catch. I thought Fafita,
No.
when he does bobble it, he's facing his own goal line and it touches his leg. Anyway, we move on.
That angle there showed it did touch Tracy, but anyway, we go on. Let's not have an argument. Cronulla there. Might be just a good timing, a warning, just not to let things get away from them. Jesse Colquhoun in the 16 jersey. And Jack Williams. Fafita looks a bit cranky. And there's Stimson putting a strong shot. That was McInnes. Tracy going down the middle. So impressive again, following up from last week. The bomb put up. The chase coming through from Roman, and an unorthodox catching style there, but effective.
Yeah, got it just a little bit big on him at the last minute, but he still comes up with possession. As they did in the previous set, the Titans, and they get an offload here, exactly what they need. Oh, he's called held.
Oh, no.
Tackle 2, Brian. Time on, go. 2. Stand, Jesse!
That worked for Keanu Kinney. Sami. So Cronulla with the only points of this second half. They tried to Wade Graham. Kick from Boyd straight to Tracy. Slicing it up. That's good defence that time. Campbell up there with Kelly.
Yeah, it's been a good battle over on this side of the field. Kelly up against Jesse Ramian, 2 class centres, both with speed and power.
There's a nervy moment there for Mulatalo as he bobbled it but held on. Colquhoun, 8th game of first grade. Ramian hitting the ball at pace. Game has been camped in this southern end really all second half, it seems. Williams, quite evade leaning. Hines down the short side on the last. This time goes the chip kick. Graham coming through, but Kinney placed well.
And once again, the Titans, a good defensive set. Unlike the first half, they just couldn't control or play the ball speed. And they get a high tackle here, which will get them out of their end. Exactly what they needed, but in the first half, the Sharks were just too quick in and around the play the ball, especially in the middle part of the field, their outside backs. But at the start of this second half, they've been in really good control. They've had good contact, and they've controlled the ruck speed.
So this about this game, Shane, we haven't had many stoppages. 2 penalties apiece. Tino comes off, 140 metres, 14 runs. Well, that won't be a long break on the bench.
It's been a quality game. You know, 20 sets for the Sharks. They completed 20 out of 24, and the Titans 22 from 24.
Yeah, the 5th penalty, that one, so it was 2-all before that. And there you go, Gold Coast. They had a similar rate last week against the Warriors, and they hung around in that game. Here's Fafita. We'll see the Warriors tomorrow. An away game at Waikato against the West Tigers. That's 5:30 on Fox League. There's Isaac Liu on the 40. Campbell kicking well before the last here, trying to catch Katoa out. The chase is very good, but Katoa manages to stay in the field of play.
Yeah, Campbell, he just saw that Connor Tracy was defending in the main line on the right-hand side of the play the ball. Just kicks in behind him, but Shani Katoa was awake to it and got back.
And now he almost gets through. Oh, he wanted to throw that there, and then he realised, no, that's not a teammate. That's Isaac Liu as Nikita on tackle 4. Hines from inside the 40. He's got some open space out here. Not quite the angle. He does turn Kinney around. And Kinney needs to be a good chase, and it is. So Kinney taking Jaden Campbell's place. Jaden Campbell taking the injured Kieran Foran's place at number 6.
Yeah, really smart kick. They kick early, kick long, and the kick chase was outstanding.
There's Khan Pereira. I haven't seen him in the clear tonight. Liu, early ball. Boyd holding it. And his pass well read. Stimson down quickly. Jolliffe. So another Titan set complete. Boyd goes deep. Mulatalo, 2 tries. Led by Leeming and Randall, it was Liu there as well. Talakai, some barnstorming plays in the first half and 2 delightful try assists. Colquhoun now. That one was high from Sami. So a penalty going Cronulla's way.
Well, on the previous set, the Titans actually created an overlap on the right-hand side, but Sami had carried the football and he was playing the ball in the middle part of the field, and they shifted out to his edge. They just needed him to be on that sideline. They didn't realise he was playing the football.
And Jack Williams. First to hit it up here for Cronulla. And they get even more breathing space. Oh, Toby Rudolph galloping down the middle. And finally put down. Just his 3rd run. That was a beauty. Tracy goes himself, and a ball and all tackle from Fafita, but a second attempt here from Tracy. It's going up as no try as the referee client talks to the touchy.
I have no try. Confirm when the ball carrying arm touches the ground, he was actually held, and then he promotes the ball for a double movement.
Well, that was a ferocious tackle from Fafita.
Oh, it's a strong run by Tracy, but Fafita coming across has to be ball and all, has to pull him down. His ball carrying arm touches the ground there. Is he still holding on to him when he reaches out?
Looks like it.
Yes.
So looking here.
Ball carrying arm of Connor Tracy comes in contact with the ground. David Fafita is effecting a tackle.
Does he let him go? No.
He then promotes the ball. We have a decision.
Storming down Cavill Avenue. If that
David,
one was,
David.
if that one was given, that was a no try there. But another sharp run from Connor Tracy.
Yeah, sharp run and sharp defence from big David Fafita on the faster man. Just got to his outside. That's a try saver.
So this is the entree for Broncos versus Parramatta. Brisbane looking to take a step closer to locking in a top 2 position. They're in sensational form. That was a wonderful performance against the Cowboys last week. Parramatta, there and thereabouts. They're close enough if good enough. That's our next game here on Fox League. And the Gabba should be rocking. There's a spread. It's Boyd for Kinney. Plenty of defenders out there for Cronulla. Sami. Happy to work it out from dummy half. Still yet to cross the midway point of this second half. Campbell getting early ball. Threatened to go past Nikita. The cover there from Colquhoun and Hines. The feeder dummy half. Boyd goes skyward. That's going to bring Ronaldo forward. That's a very good catch.
Yeah, it's a good catch, but it's a good set from the Titans. Turning the football over in that 10-by-10 box in that far right-hand side. They're back in this game. Not on the scoreboard as yet, but they're fighting hard.
Mulatalo happy to work it into the defence. So the back 5 now for Cronulla all have over 100 metres each.
I'll be getting Gold Coast Titans captain back on, Big Chino. They need him out there.
Hines. Using Ramey in there as a decoy. Someone was unhappy about all of that. Hines nearly dragged into touch. Yeah, it was Hines blowing up. Oh, effortless pickup that from Tracy. Now coming through is Katoa, and he takes out Keanu Kenny. That's got the approval of this Shark Park PointsBet Stadium crowd.
Yeah, but the young fullback did a really good job. Stood his ground. He knew Katoa was coming for him, but he stood his ground, got himself in a really good position, takes the ball, gets up and plays it.
shot. Chop hasn't scored since round number 3. There's Big Tino. He bides his time. Clark. 4th year here, solid run there. Mr. Boyd on the last. Again, it's the end over end kick, and again it's aimed at Mulatalo. Mulatalo running and going to get by a shot.
I don't think he's best, Ronaldo. I think he's still struggling a little bit with that right ankle injury, but another good set from the Titans. Just turn it over in that bottom corner, defend up and see if they can force an error.
And imagine if this lead holds the size of it. Matt Moylan would be used at some point. We'll see if that happens. It would be his 100th game at the Sharks.
Tino on the sideline.
Yeah, prowling the sideline. So he's back in moments, Tino. Ramian offloads. Hines, look behind him. Now comes the other way. Shuffles a pass. Graham getting it onto Rudolph. Jamin gave it the lot. Rudolph still got it away. And Colquhoun to the 40. Trindle, one of the stars of the night. Oh, that's a mess has been made of that for young Kinney. Mistimed the jump, and that's going to be Cronulla ball.
Yeah, he's done so well, the young fella. He's taken some high balls. On this occasion, it was a kick pressure from Ronaldo. Just gets through. You can see him coming, can hear him coming.
Already got in there.
Forces the error.
Got a captain challenge from the Titans, disputing the decision of a knock-on. I've got a captain challenge from Gold Coast, disputing the decision of a knock-on by Keanu.
Did look from that angle like he may have knocked it back first. Well, it's probably not the best angle to go by. But he might have a case here, Flano.
He gets off the ground.
So that looks better for him, but again, it's not a great angle.
Yeah.
So this, we into a insufficient evidence situation.
Based on all available angles, we'll be supporting the live decision of knock-on. The Gold Coast Titans, however, will keep their challenge.
Yeah, based on the angles, you're going to retain your challenge. The knock-on stand. Where do you want the feed? Wade?
So big Fasul Matalawi is back on. So we talked about his new contract. So he is now the most committed of any player in the competition. Signed up till 2033.
Usually from scrums in this field position, the Sharks, they come to Nico Hines and he tries to burn his opposite defender as Connor Tracy swings around to this side.
We got something brewing here. Hines, Tracy, the quick hands, Katoa. Defence sweeps across, so Katoa cuts back in. And then he's hauled in eventually by Stimson. Now it comes here to Colquhoun. Rudolph steaming onto it. Rudolph has reached out. I think he scored. Toby Rudolph gets his first for the year. And isn't he happy? Toby Rudolph, he had a rotten run with a toe injury, and he's come back and he's scored a try.
Yeah, there were some big tackles in the middle part of the field. David Fafita pulled off a rip at the tackle before, and on this occasion, Toby Rudolph just backs it up with some good leg speed in and around the post. Very similar to the first half try. Brayley just comes out, hits his big front rower. The Titans think he made the double movement, but I think that one's going to be okay.
First sign from Ashley Klein, he immediately he raised his hands as if to say he kept his arm off the ground the whole way, and there you go, try confirmed. So this is something the Sharks haven't been doing this year, having a game at their mercy and go on with it. That's 2 tries now since half-time.
Yeah, the Titans have been good defensively, and they've shut they've worked the Sharks over. It's been a real arm wrestle, and they had to fight really hard for that try there. The Titans just need to hang in there, get back into the cycle.
And the kick is good into the Monty Porter stand, 32-6.
One of the personality players of the competition, Toby Rudolph. He is a character. He loves life, and I'll tell you what, this is an absolutely barnstorming try. He enjoyed that. The celebration suited it, and it's his first try since week 1 of the finals against the North Queensland Cowboys at this very venue last season. So he'll enjoy it, Danny. He's one of the great characters of the game.
Isn't he just? Isn't he just? And Cronulla, you know, there are things to play for come the end of the season in terms of where they finish in the finals. They want to be here in week 1. 5th or 6th gets them that, obviously top 4. And they'd get a home city final at some point. But minimum that they would be looking at finishing no lower than 6th. So the Titans get it back here. Clark hooking up with Jolliffe inside the 20. Back-to-back 6 agains here. Interesting if we get another one here in quick succession if Ashley Klein takes further action. Oh, a run from Chris Randall back in the dummy half roll. Now Fasua Matalawi, you just knew he was going to have a crack from there. Randall. Bailey, convenient. Kinney, right foot step, well read this time. That was Trindle holding on. Graham up the top. And Aaron Shop doing a 360. Boyd for a contest and beats everyone. Katoa in the field of play. This is getting messy.
Yeah, it was a strange set from the Titans. Twice they ran from dummy half for no joy. And then they get trapped over on that far sideline. And the kick comes across. David Fafita was the man they were looking for. They just couldn't get him into position.
Oh, now that's all shoulder for Fafita. And Hamlin Uele looks at him and laughs.
Just walk away, Brandon, walk away. Blake. Nico, you have the penalty.
Oh, as Dave Fafita got himself into some trouble here.
Aaron, go.
And we got 10 in the bin. That's Aaron Clark. That's a back chat.
Go.
They're unraveling.
Untapped. Walk away, guys. Time off.
Yeah, I think you'll find Aaron Clark, as the referee asked them both to separate. He just goes back at Nico Hines and earns himself 10 minutes in the bin.
Oh, that's all shoulder, Flano.
It sure is.
And so Uele has won the battle. He might just win the war as well because Fafita is on report.
David's on report.
Not 10 in the bin. Bit of mercy taken there. 13 on 12.
There's no contact with Hamlin his head, so he was very, very lucky.
Yes, but
still a shoulder charge.
With a fair bit of intent there. No damage done.
Jesse.
And Braden will be the first to remind him there was no damage done. Well, where are they? They lined up here. He's not going to be involved here. Rudolph.
It would have been a big decision to send Aaron Clark and Fafita off into the sin bin at the same time.
Moylan into the game, and his pass to Hines is put down. That's a little anticlimactic for the Sharks. And that's sigh of relief for the Titans. The first defensive set with the player down.
No.
So that is just the second Titans sin bin all season. The other one, Tina, in round 7 against the Broncos. Aaron Clark, frustration coming out of him. 32-6. It was 20-6 at halftime. 12 minutes to go.
The Sharks would have loved to control possession, especially in that first stint while they're down to 12 men, but the Titans did a good job defensively and they come up with possession. Now they've got to value it while they're down to 12 men.
I feel a bit robbed there that we didn't get another Welle on Fafita. situation, but still plenty of time, 12 minutes. Fa'asul Ma'alawi carrying it up for the 16th time. Jolliffe. A great offload in the first half. That one eventually finds Rand. Oh, Boyd's pass to Kinney, who is, rather, that's Cleese Haas in 16, and he cops one there. Well, there's a very good pass there from Fa'asul Ma'alawi. Here's Fafita. Splashes off Ramey and gets past Nikita. He made them look like little backs there, David Fafita. And 6 more tackles. This was such a clean game for the first 60-odd minutes, and now it's just got real messy. Back it comes for Campbell. Kinney can't quite evade Moylan. Fa'asul Ma'alawi. Titans have had more ball inside the opposition 20 than the Sharks. With Campbell, well handled by Nikita, but slipping the pass this time. Kelly got on the outside of his man Katoa, and it pops out. Khan Pereira is there, but it's a forward pass.
It can't be challenged.
So the second time the Titans have got over the line only for a forward pass to take it away.
It's a forward pass, can't be challenged. You're right.
So let's have a look here.
Forward pass, right.
What are we looking at? Aaron Clark. Ah, so it's not for back chat, it's a little shove on Nico Hines. So that's what that's for. Ashley didn't need bunker intervention there. He saw it for himself.
He sure did. We just saw that last passage of play. Kelly, his footwork to get to the outside, he's so sharp. Unfortunately, he just couldn't find a pass to his winger. It was into space.
Wait. Keanu, head in. Head in, David. Let's go. Break.
Here's Talakai. So Toby Rudolph will be well pleased with his efforts tonight. McInnes, his tackle count has dwindled to just 37. It was on track for another half century. Emanuele. Fafita wasn't far away, but their paths don't cross this time. Emanuele seemed to go in that direction, though. Now Kinney turns around quickly after taking the catch.
Matty Moylan had some defensive issues in which found Trindle to take his spot a couple of weeks ago. He finds himself in the middle of the park and will make lots of tackles there.
Well, at least he's fresh. And that's his 100th game for the Cronulla Sharks, so a nice mark for him to bring up here as Fa'asul Ma'alawi is eventually made to play it. Jolliffe, 13th run from him. Campbell, not quite as dynamic in this second half, just hasn't had the chances. Ooh, clutching at his right knee there. With Boyd putting it up. Coming down on the 10. Oh, this time Fafita can't take it off Tracy. So Tracy wins that little battle. Campbell still hobbling in back play. He's moved on from the trainer. So again, hopefully that, like Mulatalo, just a thing that comes and goes very quickly.
It's been a real battle in this second half. The Titans, while they haven't come up with points, they've just worked really hard. They've turned the football over. A lot of the football's been the Sharks coming off their try line. They're under 12 men at the moment, but they're not throwing the towel in. They're working really hard for each other.
We saw Mulatalo again not look in a great way. The trainer's back with him, with Tracy rounded up. And the kick, Talakai is leading the race there, but that will suit everyone just to settle things down here. So since Clark has been in the bin, haven't really seen Cronulla get too many opportunities as we take a look at the VB hard-earned index. Should come up in moments, and I think we've seen 2 players, yep, right up there. Cam McInnes takes the lead. 38 tackles now, 14 runs, 110 metres, so he's not a one-way player. Cam McInnes, 14 runs. There have been 9 Sharks that have cracked 100 metres tonight. Connor Tracy's got over 200. Here's Sami, as always, leading the metres among the backs for the Gold Coast. Campbell hanging on for Kinney. The one try, Tino Fa'asua-Ma'alawi, that came in the first half. That was after the 22nd minute, or in the 22nd minute. Campbell taking a tumble. On one here from Boyd. Ooh. He did well, Ronaldo, because he had Trindle there as well. Plenty of footwork on.
There's a Shark shift out to Talakai. Pushes away from a couple of tackles. I just don't see the Titans maybe go to run shape on last. Just on that, all the Sharks, the back 3, all back, and they give a penalty away here, trying to slow the play the ball.
So this will be Cronulla's first chance with the extra man. And only 5 to go.
He's done a good job, Jamin Jolliffe. He's worked really hard in the middle part of the field, was involved in the first try. Unfortunately, then just trying to slow it down, gives away a penalty.
So it's taken 8 minutes for the Sharks to get a chance with 13 on 12. Hammond, we're there. Well, he slipped by for Feeder. And Campbell stays down after that one, so they're down another man. Moylan forces it, finds Nickiter, he forces it as well. Oh, this is razzle dazzle. They've scored. Ramian is over. Well, they had no room to work with there, but they just kept it going. And it's Jesse Ramian with his first try tonight.
Yeah, they got the penalty, as we spoke about, through Jamin Jolliffe. Down to 12 men, and they just couldn't handle over on this right edge from the Sharks. Blake Brayley jumps out, Matt Moreland throws the dummy. Some great hands there, Britt Nickera, and then back to Brayley again, and he just basketball passes it over the top to Jesse Ramian, and he's too strong and powerful from that field position and just pushes his way over.
So 3 tries now in the second half. 10th try of the year for Jesse Ramian, who's played every game this year, has been a rock for these Cronulla Sharks. So they've gone on with it. Perhaps not in total ruthless mode, but they have certainly won by a big margin here tonight. They've had some. They've thumped the Dragons here, Canterbury. Of course, the Cowboys. That was a famous one. So they have got the ability to run away with games when they've got the opposition on toast.
Well, we know they can score points, without a doubt. They're up there, they're one of the top teams in point scoring. It's the other side of the ledger that we need them to see, and they've done that tonight. Only 1 try so far this game. They've defended well, they've defended in systems. But when they come up against the big guns, that's when they need to defend well. The Brisbane Broncos, the Penrith Panthers, and those games will be down the track if they could make the semis.
Pretty interesting draw coming home. We'll get to that in a moment. Hines hits the post. So they've scored 7 tries, lead 36-6. Maybe some Cronulla fans can get themselves some grand final tickets. They're still very much in the picture. You've got the NRLW grand final. You've got the NRL grand final. It's at Accor Stadium. Great joint when it is pumping and in full, and it certainly will be on grand final day. Do not leave it too late. Broncos, Eels, Mitch Moses on the Gabba.
Stay behind, guys.
What can he produce tonight? He's had some big nights in the past against the Broncos, and Adam Reynolds is back. As if they needed more help, the Broncos. They get their talisman back in time for this game. So looking forward to that one here on Fox League. And Pat Carrigan going for a hat-trick of tries. He'd be the first Be the first hat-trick at the Gabba since Peter Siddle on his birthday. Now here's a run which gets him over halfway. Aaron Clark's sin bin time is done. That was McInnes, followed up by Welle.
Aaron, move! Mark straight, Jamin.
With Nikita cutting back in field. Moylan. Graham steaming onto it. Already got a try tonight.
Release! Wait here, last tackle. Hold!
So last tackle. Hines. Was he thinking field goal? Not now he isn't? And now, oh, what a take by Campbell. That was a Harlem Globetrotter trick.
Yeah, he was definitely thinking a field goal there. In good field position, a bit of practice. Just under 3 minutes, get into good field position. You never know down the track when you're going to have to practice that in real game conditions. He just bobbled it, couldn't get it to his boot quick enough.
So it's been a tough old night for Jaden. He picked up that knock early and had to move also into the front line at 5'8". Zach Liu and Kieran Foran and Joe Stimson watching on. Foran's night ended at half-time.
We spoke about Connor Tracy plenty tonight, and he's done a great job. You lose one of the best fullbacks in Will Kennedy, and he's done a fantastic job as Nico Hines just cleans that kick up. But Connor Tracy comes in, probably hasn't played there a lot in this team. Big time of the year for the Sharks. They have to win their football games, and he's done a great job.
So this man, Blake Brayley, is better receiver. He's been credited with 3 try assists, same as Braden Trindle. Perhaps looking for one more before we're done here and we send it on to the Gabba. Talakai. Hines kicking before the last. Ramey and chasing. They're scurrying through. Boy, he is quick. He is quick, Yano Kinney. And then Ashley Klein. A jovial Ashley there. Just announcing. Nico, they've beaten Nico tonight. Now it's Katoa and Brian Kelly.
Guys.
Kelly, whoa, look at he's got the eye of the tiger.
Guys, we don't need everyone here. What happened at the end there, Joey?
Even Ashley wants to know how that started.
He's got a penalty for the flop. Back here, Tino. Let's go. Let's get out the penalty.
Sure they like each other. We don't exactly have a repeat of Lang Park in 1988, but there were some of those Nerf footballs thrown onto the field there while the Titans were standing in the corner. I don't think it did too much damage.
They got a player in the young fullback. He's brave, he's fast, he's got a good right foot step. The more games he plays, the better he's going to be.
So this could be close to the last play. Nope, they'll get one more in here as Sami will play it. Oh, shot there from Nikita, forcing it. Oh, hang on. Ashley didn't like it. This could be a problem. He's on report. Well, that's what they don't need. They don't need Nikita getting himself into trouble on effectively the last play of the game, and he's upset with himself too. So trying to finish with a flourish. And that was not needed. So this, the last play. Campbell doesn't kick. Long pass from Clark. Shot away now. Sami. Creative play, but well covered by Connor Tracy. Terrific night from him. Terrific night for Craig Fitzgibbon and the Cronulla Sharks. Job done. Victory. Wade Graham. A big night for him. Celebrating 250 games as a Cronulla Sharks player. He scores a try, and the Sharks have more than enough tonight. 36-6, they beat the Gold Coast Titans.